There is a large hole in my heart that cannot be filled. To fill this emptiness, I tried chasing what I wanted. I reached for every earthly pleasure I could find, but none of it ever truly became mine, and in the end, it all slipped away. You were always smiling, so I thought you would be better off than me. So what am I supposed to do now, in your final moments, when you reached your hand out toward me? Could I have saved you? A beloved existence. A vivid memory still returns whenever I close my eyes. It is the memory of the day the reason for my existence suddenly seemed to disappear. Sue sits in the nurse's office, hollowed out by grief and exhaustion, convinced the world has singled her out for cruelty. Staring ahead, bitter and drained, Sue says, "There's no doubt that this world hates me. Otherwise, it wouldn't do this to me." A moment later, still clinging to that pain, Sue adds, "I can't believe it was all taken away in an instant when I loved it that much." The nurse, Ms. Boyon, reacts with blunt disbelief instead of sympathy. Almost instantly, Ms. Boyon says dryly, "Cringe." Then, correcting Soyu's casual tone, Ms. Boyon reminds her, "Student Ahn Soyo, at school, it's teacher." Still drowning in self-pity, Soyu looks at her and Soyu asks miserably, "There probably isn't anyone else who is as miserable as me, right, Auntie?" Refusing to indulge her, Ms. Boyon replies sharply, "And why wouldn't there be someone else more miserable than you?" Leaning into hard truth, Ms. Boyon continues, "Didn't I tell you that even getting to receive a heart transplant was a miracle in itself?" Without softening, she presses on. "How long do you plan on being enamored with pitying yourself?" And with the practical advice she has likely repeated many times before, Ms. Boyon says, "Like I've said before, you will naturally find something you're interested in while hanging out with your friends." So, Yu has no answer. She just lowers her gaze and stares at the lollipop in her hand, defeated into silence. Seeing no progress, the nurse decides to end the conversation. With firm exhaustion, Miss Boyon says, "How many times have I told you to only come to nurse's office if you showed any symptoms?" Then, trying to finally set a boundary, she warns, "There's no entry starting tomorrow." That threat jolts Soyu awake. Startled and desperate, Soyu blurts out, There are symptoms!" Turning back with skepticism, Miss Boyon asks, "Like what?" Caught off guard and unable to explain herself, Soyu stammers, Well, that's..." Before Soyu can finish, someone approaches the nurse's office, cutting through the moment. Checking her phone and preparing to leave, Ms. Boyon says, "Let's talk when I get back from the administration office." Still flustered, Soyu replies weakly, "Okay." Then, Park Jae-ha enters. Casual as ever, Jae-ha greets her. "Hello, Ms. Boyon." Without hesitation, and with the kind of shameless confidence that immediately changes the air in the room, Jae-ha says, "I'm sick." The nurse is completely unconvinced. Looking at his visible injury, Ms. Boyon says flatly, "That was from when you fought yesterday." Then, with clear impatience, she adds, "Park Jae-ha, I've already turned a blind eye to you one too many times." Still unfazed, Jae-ha insists, "I really am sick." So, unimpressed, Miss Boyon asks, "Where?" Jae-ha answers with ridiculous sincerity. Placing a hand over himself, Jae-ha declares, "My heart." That is enough for the nurse. Instantly losing patience, Ms. Boyon snaps, "Get out, Raho, right now!" But Jae-ha bargains as though this is all perfectly reasonable. With easy audacity, Jae-ha says, "I'll lay down for 10 minutes, then go." Half exasperated and half resigned, the nurse heads for the door, but before leaving, Ms. Boyeon warns him, "I'll be back from the administration office soon, so make sure to behave yourself." Playing along without missing a beat, Jae-ha replies, "Yes, ma'am." Still lingering in the office, So-yu calls after her, "I'll be right back." But once Ms. Boyeon is gone and the room grows quiet, So-yu finally realizes something unsettling. The excuse she blurted out a moment ago might not have been an excuse at all. Her body is reacting in ways she cannot control. Panicking inwardly, So-yu admits to herself, "I've definitely developed some strange symptoms." As her pulse races harder and harder, she wonders, won't I just have a relapse at this rate? Then, looking at Jae-ha and feeling her chest pound uncontrollably, So-yu confesses inwardly, "My heart beats terrifyingly fast just at the sight of him." And over all of this hangs the reality of her return. So-yu came back to school at an awkward time. When she finally stands outside classroom 2-3, the cheerful noise from inside only makes her hesitate more. Listening to the laughter beyond the door, So-yu thinks, "I don't want to go into that happy atmosphere." Then, someone speaks to her, appearing suddenly at the doorway and leaning in close enough to startle her. "You're not going in?" So-yu turns, caught off guard by how close he is. Studying her for a moment, Jae-ha asks, "You're the returned student, right?" Before So-yu can fully respond, Jae-ha keeps talking in his easy, unbothered way. With a casual smile, Jae-ha says, "I heard we're the same age." Then, as if to give her one less reason to feel alone, Jae-ha adds, "I also took a year of absence." And just like that, deciding the tone of the moment for both of them, Jae-ha says, "Let's get along, yeah?" So you can only stare at him. For some reason, the moment leaves her shaken in a way she cannot explain. Looking at him, overwhelmed by the tightness in her chest, So-yu wonders, why do I feel like crying? It says that the day So-yu first met Park Jae-ha, a man appeared in her dreams. In that dreamlike place, the star-filled sky stretching endlessly around her, So-yu looks around in confusion. Trying to make sense of the strange presence before her, So-yu calls out, "Hello? Who is that?" The man looks at her calmly, as if he has expected this meeting all along. Then, without any hesitation, the man says, "I'm the owner of the transplanted heart you received." Before So-yu can even process that, he says something even more shocking. Looking at her with quiet gentleness, the man says, "I'm Jae-ha's dad." So-yu is left completely stunned. Trying to soften the shock, the man greets her more brightly. "Hello?" "Ha ha ha. Looks like my heart found a good spot." So-yu, still overwhelmed, blurts out the facts she remembers from the doctors. Trying to explain how extraordinary the surgery had been, So-yu says, they said it was the first case they'd seen with such a low rejection rate. Then lifting both thumbs with awkward sincerity, So-yu adds, "The doctor told me it was a miracle." The man listens to her with a soft, knowing expression. Then, like someone repeating a truth he has carried for a long time, the man says, "They say miracles happen when an earnest heart reaches the sky." After that, his tone grows gentler. Looking at So-yu with heartfelt relief, the man says, "I'm glad you're able to live a new life. I really wanted to meet you at least once." They sit together beneath the stars, and after a while the man turns toward her and gently asks, "How have you been?" That simple question opens something in So-yu. Unable to pretend everything is fine, So-yu admits, To be honest, it feels like all my hopes and dreams for the future have disappeared." Then, giving voice to the emptiness she has been carrying, Soyu says, "I don't know what to do." The man listens without interrupting. After a thoughtful pause, the man asks, "Couldn't you find something new?" But to Soyu, that question only sharpens the ache of what she lost. Shaking her head, Soyu replies, "No, I don't think I'll be able to find something like that again." The man accepts her answer without judgment. The man says, "In life, we also need to learn how to let go of the things we hold on to." Wanting her to see herself differently, he continues, "We're all given various talents that benefit other people. I'm sure there are people who need you now." And with calm reassurance, he adds, "You'll gradually know what to do once you get there." Thinking only of the one thing she had ever truly believed she was good at, Soyu says, "I don't think I have any other talents besides running, though." The man smiles gently, as if that answer does not surprise him at all. With steady warmth, he says, "You'll find them little by little." Then, offering one final thought that feels more like guidance than explanation, the man tells her, "You'll learn how to see it with your heart." Soyu still does not understand. Frowning slightly, Soyu asks, "What does that mean?" Then her thoughts turn back to Jaiha. Soyu says, "Oh, that's right." Soyu continues, "I saw your son for the first time today. He seems to be doing well." Then, remembering the overwhelming pounding in her chest, Soyu admits, "My heart was beating like crazy as soon as I saw him. It must be because he's your son." The moment those words leave her mouth, the air changes. A drop falls from the man's face. Realizing too late that she may have touched on something painful, Soyu says softly, "Ah, I'm sorry." With quiet sorrow, the man says, "We're only told of good news in heaven, but since I haven't heard a thing about Jaiha," then unable to hide his grief any longer, he says, "That child is all alone in this world." The words hit Soyu hard. Turning them over in her mind, shocked by what they imply, Soyu asks, "Does that mean he's an orphan?" The man does not answer immediately. Instead, after a long and weighted silence, the man says, "If you wouldn't mind." Then, with the desperation of a father who can no longer protect his son himself, he asks, "Could you love Gwaiha in my place?"